What's up, everybody? This is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics, and I have an update to the video I did earlier today. Hopefully you will have a chance to check it out. If you haven't checked it out, you may want to watch that one first, so skip this video and watch the other one first so you know what the comic is, and you'll kind of understand the reference of what's going on. But I got some really good news about the comic, so if you, like I said, if you're just coming in and you have not seen the video I did earlier today, I would highly recommend watching it first, so you get a better frame of reference, I could speak. I got some really good news on this, but I always want to make sure while people are coming in, I want to say hi to those that get here early. So Jordan Porter, you are first today. Welcome. Comic Lover Omega, Richard, Horror Breakdown, always good to see you. Eric, Bruce, Tina, Mr. Comics 89, good to see you, my friend. RJ Taylor, Don Dizzle, Thanos is here. Paul May, Gizmo Rain, Clown Crazy Studios, hey, long time no see, and he said that himself. Jose is here, Jason is here, Ray is here, Manny the Comic Collector. Not bad considering YouTube is showing 6 people watching. So before I show and before I put on the video, like I said, if you have not seen the video I did earlier today, you might want to stop watching this one and watch that one so you can get a reference. But let me turn on the video camera because I got some good news about the comic. So, after spending a couple hours with my family, we're doing this twice a month kind of thing where we all hang out. I have my custom-made video game system where we could do things like family bowling and stuff, so we made that into a regular thing. Just got home, and I'm like, you know what? Let me take this book out of the bag, and I'll explain the situation. So this is your last chance. If you don't want to know, if you didn't watch the other video, make sure you watch it first. And while I'm waiting for people to come in, don't forget I am selling my mystery box comic books. I put in a new way to get them. There's a link you could go on my main page on the dashboard where you see the We Love Comics logo, the long part on the bottom right-hand corner. The second thing right there will bring you to my website. Bring it all the way down. You'll see the different comic book mystery boxes if you're interested. So, I see enough people are here right now. I'm surprised considering this is the last second thing on a Saturday night. Very welcome to see. So, when I originally got this book, which is Batman number 59, this is the first appearance of Deadshot, which, by the way, definitely not what you think of Deadshot is. The original Deadshot was a man in, like, a magician's suit, top hat and everything. So he had, like, the evil kind of, like, that twisting mustache, but without the twirl. And he basically looks like an evil magician. So the original Deadshot is nothing like the modern day, but this is his real first appearance. So I guess along the way, he decided to get rid of the top hat. But if you saw the video, you would notice there were 3 added staples to this book. Now, some people were saying it might be restored that way, and some people say with an older book, it might not be considered restored. But what I did was, I ended up taking out those 3 staples, thinking, all right, you know, I'd rather have a book that has a little bit lower grade than to have like a 1 point higher but a restored comic. So I took out the 3 staples, and guess what? The 2 original staples are still in the book. So the one right here, you could barely see it here, but this one popped off of the cover, but it's still completely all the way through the book. So both staples are still connected to even the centerfold. So no pages are loose. And here's the other part. Right over here, inside the book, they put a little bit of tape. So it's holding this together, so it's not even considered a detached cover. So this book is going to end up now being a higher grade than even I thought it was going to be. And it meant that the person that sold this book never bothered to actually look inside the book to see if the original staples were still there. So I paid $350, which includes shipping and handling, for now what is a complete book with the staples, the original staples, still intact. Now, like I said, it popped here on the cover only. It's barely hanging on the bottom one. So I don't know why somebody added those extra staples. Maybe somebody did it when they were a kid, because a lot of people back then, they taped their books. That's why none of the grading companies considered tape for the older books restoration, because that's pretty much what people did. So they kind of think of that as a little different as opposed to somebody taking magic marker and, like, for example, trying to fill this in, for example. So I don't know why somebody added the 3 staples, but it was pretty easy. I just went to the back of the book, saw the staples, used my little needle nose pliers, straightened them out, pulled them right out. And then when I opened the book, I came to realize, because the 3 staples were a little further out, so you could not see the edge of the book. So when I pulled these out, I didn't expect to see it, but the 2 original staples are still in this book. So this is now a complete book. This is probably a 3 to a 4.0 right about now, maybe even a 4.5, because you could see, other than these 2 spots right here, the book inside is amazing. It's off-white pages. And with such a great book, this blows my mind, the good fortune on this one. So this is why it pays to know about books and to be able to research and learn about things. Knowledge is power. So the person that sold this never bothered to take the book and examine it closely. But like I said, those 3 staples, they were kind of about a 1/4 of an inch inward. So because they were 3 staples, when you open the cover, you could not see the original staples. So the person that had this book never knew that the original staples were in there. Now, I wouldn't have known either. But because I took those staples out and I was able to see past the original part that was being blocked, I noticed that the original staples are in there. So, this made this book even better. So with shipping and handling, for the first appearance of Deadshot from 1950, I paid $350. It is complete. It has both original staples. The only negative thing, if you want to think of negative, is the top staple is popped from the cover. But it is in the rest of the book, including the centerfold. So for me, an amazing find. So never be afraid to take a chance. This is why I tell people about eBay. There are so many people that get afraid, because like you saw the Hulk 180, which, by the way, people asked for an update. The person that day admitted that they were wrong and just went, they agreed to accept my return, and I've already mailed it back. In the next couple of days, I'll get my money back. But I've seen so many people be afraid to take chances. When I saw this book, I thought for the price that I was willing to offer on it, it was worth taking the chance on, and it ultimately ended up being even better than I thought. So with eBay, as long as you're doing the honest thing, you don't want to be doing things that are criminal, like stealing from somebody. You don't want to be lying about things. You don't want to be stealing. 2 wrongs don't make a right. But it's worth it to take chances, because if this book ended up being nothing what they said and they completely lied, then I can get my money back if they were dishonest, like what happened with the Hulk 180. Because not only was it completely damaged because of their poor packaging, they also lied about the fact that it had the Marvel stamp, which it did not. They were probably hoping I wasn't going to be one of those people that checked. They mailed it to the wrong person, unfortunately. So what I'm trying to instill in people is don't be afraid to take chances. Know as much as you can, because remember, there are some books out there, it's very rare, but some books in the Golden Age have 3 staples. Some only have 1. Because especially when you're talking around the World War II era, they were trying to save money on, they were trying to save metal to use for the war. So there are some comics, like one I have, my Captain America 65, only has 1 staple. So if you don't know about these things, somebody else is going to take advantage of it, because it's not them being deceitful, it's not them being sneaky, it's them being knowledgeable. So I was not expecting there to be the original staples in it. I thought, well, at the best, this will come out at 2.0 because I'm removing those 3 staples and it will no longer be restored. And I ended up finding a miniature golden goose. So is this a $50,000 comic? No. But you know what? It's definitely worth a lot more than the $350 I paid for it. And it's because I was willing to take a chance on the book, because I wouldn't have returned this book. Because like I said, I paid what is the 0.5 grades worth for this book. So for me, it was worth the chance. And it ends up being almost double, if not triple, what I originally thought it would be. So guys, girls, take the chance. But make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you research. One of the benefits of watching not just my channel, but all the other people, even people I don't like or don't like me, they might have some good information to help. Learn all you can, especially if you're new, or even if you're somebody that's not new. Don't take things for granted. Don't be afraid to take chances. One quick question I want to answer, because Lewis C. says, Chris, what do you think of the UK version of some books like Hulk 181? Well, here's the thing. There's very rare exceptions, but other price variants are never going to be worth as much as the US version, especially something like Hulk 181. Now, like I said, there are some few and far between rarer comics from other countries, but unless you can't afford the US version and you can only afford one of those, remember, you get what you pay for. So it's up to you. I personally would not get one from overseas. But again, if that's all you can afford and you can get a good price on it, it's worth taking the chance on. But remember, when you're spending less money, it's because it's not as desirable, which means if you tried to sell it, it's not going to be worth as much money. So it is going to have a balance. You're better off a lot of times buying the more expensive ones. So Jose said, would you buy Hulk 181 without the stamp? Always, and I'll say this until the day I drop dead or the day I stop doing these videos, it depends on what you pay for it. If you overpay for that book, it doesn't matter if it has a stamp or not. But if you found, like for example, let's say you found a 2.0 Hulk 181 without the stamp and somebody sold it for $200, well, that's a steal. I would buy that in a heartbeat. It also depends on the person, because remember, that little 1" by 1" squared stamp, quote-unquote stamp, if it's missing, it's now a qualified book. So if you got it graded, it would come back as incomplete. So it depends on the person. Like, for example, if you're one of those people that has to have everything perfect, you may not like that. But remember, that little stamp does not affect the story. You still have Wolverine in there as the first full appearance. So it really depends on your own personal preference. It depends on the money that you're spending on it. And it depends on the direction it's going. Right now, I've been telling people for years, Hulk 180 and Hulk 181 are, and also the Fantastic Four books, the Silver Surfer books, all of the Fox and X-Men properties that are now over to the MCU, those are almost as close as you can to guaranteed upgrades as far as value of those books as any time we've ever seen in history. Because even though people will say, well, there already were X-Men movies, there were already Deadpool movies, there were already Fantastic Four movies, that is very true, but they were not in the MCU. Remember what happened when Amazing Spider-Man, who is, by the way, still owned by Sony, when he came over to the MCU. Look what it did to the value of his comics. So you gotta plan things ahead, and that's why I tell people, for the most part, like especially what I call the flavor of the month, if you don't get it within the first couple of days, sometimes you're better off just saying, you know what, forget about these prices on these newer books if it hits $40, $50 overnight, because that's probably going to be a plateau, and maybe it might reach 100, and it may just drop off the face of the earth. Books like these are books that are on their way up, because you're talking now probably a couple of years until the X-Men and the Fantastic Four may be in an MCU. I mean, if you go by what Marvel says, I don't trust them. Not that they're, deceiving us, but they're definitely not going to tell us to make it more of a surprise. So I would rather get books that I can get a great price on. The ones that are going up in an upward direction. Because like I've said before, and I'll put it to you this way. If you have a Hulk 181 or a Hulk 180 right now, and 2 years from now, Wolverine ends up in an end credit scene, do you think, A, the value of that book will stay the same, B, the value of the book will go down, or C, the value of that book will probably go up 20 to 25% overnight? Think about it. So even if you pay the what is the going rate for those books. They have so much potential to go up at this point that it might even be worth it to pay almost exactly what it's worth at this time, even if you can't get a deal, because those books have so much more room to grow that even if you buy them at the current prices, they're going to double. I mean, I bought 2 Fantastic Four 48s, 5.0s, one for $325, one for $338 back in 2016. Those books are worth around $1,100 now, and they're not even in a movie yet. So the one thing about books is, unless you totally mistreat them, they're not going to expire. They're not like milk. They're not like meat that you got to get rid of in a week. You can hold on to these. This book has been around since the 1950s. Look how nice this book is for a book from 1950. If you take care of your books, they're going to last a very long time. And let's put it this way. People always say, well, I don't want to wait. Well, you're waiting anyway. If back in 2016, you didn't want to pay for it because you didn't want to wait 5 years until they come out in a movie, well, guess what? 5 years went by, you didn't buy the book, and now the book is triple what you would have paid, so you waited anyway, and now you're paying triple, quadruple the price. Try to get out of that mindset. Wait for deals. If you have to ask somebody, I'm looking at such and such book, is it a good deal? What that tells me is you're not doing your research. And I'm not saying any one person specifically. I'm saying to people in general. So anybody that ever asked the question, hi, I'm looking at, or I just got this book, is it a good deal? Well, why don't you know the answer to that? It's because you're not looking. And if you're not looking, you're not learning. If you're not learning, you're going to get burned more than you'll ever succeed because you're not understanding how things operate. So the more information you put into this, the better results and the more likely you will have more positive results. It does not always guarantee. But if you look at my videos, I mean, yes, I'm not getting dollar comics at yard sales. I'm not traveling all around spending hundreds of dollars in gas and, burning my engine out of my vehicle and spending hours of the day roaming all the streets of all the cities around me. But on my eBay deals, you see time and time again, I get at least below what the current rates are going. And I get pretty good prices. Not because I'm lucky, it's because I put in the effort, I put in the time, and I learn what I'm talking about. So I know before I bid on something what the maximum bid I'm willing to spend and what the book is currently worth at that time and where it might be going in the future. That's why I don't want to be buying anything Iron Man right now or Captain America right now, because the fact that they're, quote-unquote spoilers, so if you haven't seen Endgame, don't watch at this point. So I'll give you 3 seconds to get off if you haven't seen Endgame yet. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, so quick little spoiler at this point. The fact that those two characters are no longer in the MCU, and that can change, because remember, just because contracts are ended doesn't mean they can't re-sign them and have something happen, because with the multiverse now, there could be another Tony Stark, there could be another Captain America, and it could be the same person playing the part, just from another, multiverse. But those books, and if that doesn't happen, those are going to be on a decline. Now, because something like Avengers 4, the first Silver Age appearance of Captain America, is so key, you'll only see a little dip for a little while. But why would you want to buy something when it's on a decline? You want to wait until it starts going down to the point where you say, okay, I think it's plateaued. Now you want to buy it. You don't want to get it when it's on the top, ready to go down. You want to follow it down a little bit because remember, since 90% of the people out there buy on emotion, as they see a price going down, they stay away from it. That's when you have to pay attention and trust your instincts. Don't worry about hitting complete bottom, and don't worry about selling a complete top. Because unless you have inside information, you're probably never going to make that to the exact point. But if you can get somewhere in the upper echelons, then you're doing your job right. So do your homework, put in the effort, take the chances. But you got to know what you're doing. If you keep asking the same question over and over again as far as value of, and I'm not saying this to any one specific person, but if you're constantly saying, is this a good deal, that's telling me that you're not willing to put in the effort. Remember, like anything in life, you get what you give. If you put no effort into something, what makes you think you deserve to reap any rewards? You might get lucky every now and then, but you would rather be lucky more times because of skill and not because you rolled the dice 100 times and lucky number 7 happened to come up once or twice. You want to be able to understand how things work. So I don't want to make this video too long. I always want to thank people. I do appreciate people having those conversations because remember, some of us that have been around in the comic book community for a while, we seem to forget there's a lot of new people that come in every single day. And that's thanks to a lot of these movies like Endgame and Infinity War, and maybe even to a lesser extent, Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Shazam. So there are new people out there that may not know what we've known for years. So let's not assume that everybody knows what's going on. So if you're one of the new people to collecting comics, put it in the comments section. If you're one of my power viewers, and power viewers are the people that watch from beginning to end, put it in the comments section. If you're new to this channel, hit subscribe. Hit the thumbs up if you think my advice helps. And don't forget to research my videos. I have playlists on tips and advice. Watch all of my unboxing videos and haul videos, because I show a lot of comics and tell you what they are. I also tell you what prices I pay so you can get an idea of what things could be, but make sure you do your homework. So I don't want people to be taken advantage of, but, you know, if you choose to not do the work, do you think, if you don't know what you're doing, do you think you're more likely or less likely to be taken advantage of or make a mistake? I want you to think about that. Rethink things. Don't just base things on emotion because somebody made a video and said, oh, you got to get this book. You want to know why. Like, if I show this book right now, and I say this is a book you should get, and you don't know why, well, research it. This is Fantastic Four Annual 2. I did a video about it just a couple of days ago. If you don't know what that is, well, you got to do your research. Videos like mine and others will help you. So, thanks for watching, guys. Let me do today's surprise subscriber shout-out. We're going to be giving that to... We got a new person. So, Kelvin Pierce, he writes, I'm new, Chris, and your advice helps me a great deal. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. So, thumbs up to you. I appreciate everybody out there. So, when you see this video, if you're one of my power viewers or you just happen to see this part, everybody give a shout out to Kelvin Pierce. Welcome to the comic book community. We want the newer people to be welcome and appreciated, not shunned because some elitist snob person, because they know so much about comics, wants to put them down because they may not know, you know, the first appearance of Doctor Doom or something like that. Don't push those people away. The newer people are what's going to keep this industry alive. And if we want that, we got to help one another, not hurt one another. That's what some of the people that stalk my channel don't seem to understand. You get what you give. So thanks for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, take chances. If you haven't seen what I was talking about this book, I did the video earlier today, and just rewind this one later, and you'll get the information. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your Mother's Day. Make sure you call your mother. Make sure you visit her. Get her something nice, even if it's a card. You know, sometimes mothers just appreciate the fact that they're being thought of. So even if you haven't spoken to them in a while, you're arguing, or haven't had something fall out, you know what? Life is too short. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Don't forget, it's not you, it's not I, it's We Love Comics. And RJ Taylor, as far as the video tomorrow, I'm not really sure because it is Mother's Day. So if I get enough people in the comment section, if I get by tomorrow, well, by the end of tonight, if I get 100 likes on this video, I'll do a live feed tomorrow, because that tells me enough people want to watch a video tomorrow that may not be able to spend time with their mothers, or they may be too far away. So if I get 100 likes on this video before tomorrow morning, I will definitely do a live feed tomorrow if that's what you want. If I don't, then that means there's going to be more people away with their family, and I totally understand that. So I'll leave it up to you guys. 100 thumbs up. You're telling me you want a video tomorrow. If it doesn't, that means people are, you know, obviously your mothers are more important than my videos. So I'll leave it up to you guys. So thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. And don't forget, it's not you, it's not I, it's We Love Comics. Good night, everybody. Be safe. See you soon.